Hi, this is Mrs. Ridolfi, and I wanted to go over some lesson 19 practice with exponent rules. So, using the practice sheet that you got in class, I'm going to go through some examples, and then any of the ones that I don't do on the video, I also posted the key, and feel free to email me if you have any additional questions. So let's start with number 1. Use the product of powers property to write x to the 3/4 power times x to the 5/4 as a single power. And I also want to remind you that you should have also gotten this graphic organizer in class, which has all the rules. So if it says product of powers, and I'm going to go over it and I see a to the m times a to the n power equals a to the m plus n. So I need to add my exponents that have the same base. And here they have the same base of x. So I'm going to rewrite it as x to the 3/4 plus 5 in the quiz. So you want to show that you're adding these two and then how you got your answer. They have the same denominator, so all we have to do is add the numerator. 3 plus 5 is x to the 8/4. Then you want to simplify. 8 divided by 4 is 2x. Then we have number 2, use the quotient of powers property to write a to the 11/3 power divided by a to the 2/3 power as a single power. So let's go to our quotient of powers. When we see the fraction, that also means division, and we subtract our exponents that have the same. To the 11/3 minus 2/3. They have the same numerator, or same denominator, so I'm going to add or subtract the numerators. Goodness, I can't talk. So 11 minus 2 is 9, so a to the 9/3. Simplify. 9 divided by power. All right, then we go over to simplify 2x to the 5th power times 5x to the 4th power. So now it doesn't tell us the type of property, but look and see if which one has the dot multiplication. So if I look through all, here's the dot. So it's the product of powers. I'm going to add my exponents. Now you also need to be careful because we have coefficients here. We have 2 and 5. We need to also multiply those. So 2 times 5, so I'm going to show 2 times 5 times x, and then so I'm going to add. So now I will simplify. 2 times 5 is 10, and then x to the 9th power. Final answer, put a box around it. Number 4. Now we have a quotient of powers. Again, I see that's the quotient of powers. I need to subtract my exponents with the same base. Also, I see that I have a 2 in the front here. I need to make sure I simplify that by dividing. There is no number on the denominator, so that there's like an invisible 1 there. So 2 divided by 1 equals 2. So 2 times x, and then I have 5, and then I'm going to subtract the exponent on the denominator. If it's just x, that's like x to the 1st power. So 5 minus 1 times y to the 5th, and then the denominator has y to the 2nd power, so I'm going to subtract 2. Now I simplify 2x, and then 5 minus 1 to the 4th power, y to the 3rd power. All right, I want you to try the ones down here that say try these. So try 5 through 7 on your own, and then I want you to come back on this video and I will go over some of them, but any that I don't go over, please check the key that I also posted on the course calendar. All right, you should have paused these and done them on your own. Remember, you learn by doing, so make sure you're doing these since you have to do them on your own on the quiz and test. All right, so I'm going to go over 5a. So we have 4xy. So again, parentheses mean multiply. We don't have any powers on the outside of the parentheses, so we're just going to like regular dot multiplication. So I'm going to rewrite it with combined. So I know I need to first multiply the numbers in the very front. So I'm going to write 4 times negative 2. Then, now if x is by itself here, that's x to the 1 times x squared. So I'm putting all my like terms together, or my same bases. Then I have what times y to the 4th times y to the 5th. Now I'm going to show my exponent rules. So 4 times negative 2 times x. So since these both have a base of x, I'm going to add my exponents. 1 plus 2 times y, and then 4 plus 5. Now I'm going to simplify. 4 times negative my exponent 1 plus 2, x cubed. Then I have y, and 4 plus 5, y to the 9th. So negative x cubed y to the 9th is our answer there. Then for letter B, let's go over a quotient one. So quotient of powers when we have a fraction, which is division. So I'm going to now, this one I am now going to represent as multiplication, but the rule is that when we have division, so let me show you over here, we do a to the m minus n. So I'm just going to show that by multiplying each term. Squared, and then if it's just an a on the denominator, that's minus 1, times b to the 5th minus 2, and then times c to the 1 minus 1 power, since there's just c on both sides. Now I will simplify my exponent rules by combining like terms. So 2 divided by 4. Now be careful, because a lot of people would say 2, but if you're dividing by a bigger number, that's going to stay as a fraction. Then I have a to the 2 minus 1, so that's just a, or a to the first power. B to the 5 minus 2 is b to the 3rd power. And then c, 1 minus 1, that's 0, so that cancels out. So you could keep it as 1a, simplify ab to the 3rd power for 2. And then the last one I'll go over is number 7 down here. Anything I can. All right, I'm going to rewrite this. So I'm going to have 5 times 3. So if 3 is on the numerator, that's like 3 over 1. So that can just go in the same row. And then I'm going to put my x's together. X to the negative 2. All right, it just stays x to the 4th. Then I have y times y to the 1, since this y is by itself. And then notice how I have y to the 4th. Well, I'm going to bring that up to the numerator, so it's all on the same line here. And if I move that to the numerator, it becomes y to the negative 4th. To the 0. Now I'm going to use my exponent rules. So now I know that I can add my exponents with the same base. I'm going to go ahead and just simplify. 5 times 3 is 15 times x. So I have negative 2 plus 4 times y, 1 minus negative 4. Z to the 0, which equals 1. So I know that I can just leave that blank because if I multiply it by 1, then it is going to equal the same thing. All right, now I can use my exponent rules. Oh, I just realized I totally messed up. I was second guessing myself. Since I was looking at this and saw y to the 4th, I was thinking subtraction, but since I changed it to -4, I actually need to add. So my apologies. So since I changed it to y to the -4th, I'm still adding. I was thinking that it was on the denominator and to subtract. So my apologies for that confusion. All right. Now let's simplify by adding our exponents. So 15x and then -4 would be y to the -3. We cannot have a negative exponent, so we need to move just this term, y to the -3, to the denominator. So everything else stays on the numerator, 15x squared. So it becomes positive. So this would be your final answer. All right, now let's go to the back. All right, for number 8, go ahead and try 8 on your own. So go ahead and just try this whole back side on your own, and then come back to the video and check your work, and I will go over a few of them. All right, welcome back. You should have done all these on your own. So use the key for any I don't go over. I'm going to jump to number 9. Use the power of a power property to write x to the 6/5 to the 25th as a single. So use your graphic organizer. I see that I have parentheses in between my powers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply my powers m times n. So over here, if I have x to the 6/5 times 25, I can multiply across. 6 times 25 is 150 over 5, and right, the next one I am going to do with you is number 12. So first, look at the first set of parentheses. 2x squared, y to the 5th, to the 3rd power. So of the parentheses, it's like I have to distribute this 3 to every term inside the parentheses. And then times x squared times 3 times y to the 5th times 3. And then now the second expression, 3x squared, now I have to pretty much distribute this power of -2 to both terms. So times x 2 times -2. So notice how the exponent on the outside of the parentheses, we're applying it to every term. So and the -2 to the number and the variable. All right, then when it's a number, actually solve it. 2 cubed equals 8. So 8 times 3 is 6. And then 5 times 3 is 15. Then we have 3 over -2. We cannot, like 1 over 3 squared, and then 3 squared is 9. So 1/9 times x, and then 2 times -2 to continue to simplify. All right, so then I have 8 times 1/9, 8/9. Then plus -4 is 2, x squared, and then y to the 15th. This also is, we could have all of these on the numerator, x, 8x squared y to the 15th over 9. These are both equivalent. All right, now I'm going to jump down to 14b. All right, so 14b, all right, so first I want to simplify what's in the parentheses by distributing this power of 3 to every term. So I'm going to times 5 cubed times b to the second times 3 and then times c cubed. All right, then let's go b. 5 cubed is 5 times 5 times 5, so that's 125 times b to the 6 times c cubed. Then we need to combine our like terms, so like our coefficients, negative 2 times 125, negative 2. So I'm just going to keep it a. B is b to the first power, and I want to combine it with b to the 6th power, so 1 plus 6 is b to the 7th. And then there's no other c, so c3. All right, so we have parentheses and power of 2 on the outside. So I need to distribute it both to the numerator and the denominator. So 5 and then we have still times y cubed 10x squared. Now I cannot simplify each one, so now I can go through, oh, I could do 5 squared, which is 25, but now I can, there's a show you how you can rewrite it to help maybe make it a little more straightforward, excuse me. So 5 squared is 25. Times x squared. So I have my numerator, I just rewrote 5 squared is 25, x squared is x squared. All right, now I also see that I have a 10 down here. This is like 1/10 since it's on the denominator. So I'm going to put it over here in front of the 25 to keep those together since I know I'm going to have to multiply. Times x squared. This x squared is on the denominator. So that I'm going to move up to the numerator and it's going to become x times to the negative 2 power. This y to the second power is on the denominator, so if I move it up to the numerator, it's y to the negative 2. And then this y to the third. Like, I feel like when you make it all on the numerator like this, then it kind of just helps you know, like, oh, now I just need to add all my exponents. So it kind of maybe makes it a little simpler. So this is why I'm showing you this way, but if you can do it without this, that's awesome. All right, 1/10 times 25. Now I just want to show you a reminder how to do fractions. For a fraction, you hit the green, let me clear this up, green button, and then to the right, see there's a little green fraction symbol right there? And then I'm going to type in 1. And then to go back to the side of it, then times 25. And then it'll give your answer in a fraction. So that's what we want to do. So 5. And I want to combine my like terms here. So x to the second power times x to the negative 2, I'm going to add 2 plus negative 2. Well, that cancels out. That's 0, so I don't have any more x's. 3 is 1. So y goes on the numerator. So 5y over 2. If this was helpful, bye. Have a great rest of your day.